Thank you. I would ask a motion to rise from closed, please. And I'm looking at Councillor Burt and Councillor Martin. All in favor? So moved. Thank you. Matters arising from closed, that the minutes of closed session of August 6th be adopted. And I need a mover for that. Looking online, Councillor, I'm looking at Councillor Huntley. I'm not going to get you in that. And Councillor Lambsett, all in favor. Thank you. And then we need also a resolution for the material storage facility, which is written here as well. So I'm looking for, I'm sorry.
I'll just read it out.
Okay, yes, please.
Okay. So it's the resolution would be that proposal NRFP 04-2025 material storage facility be awarded to Metco, and that the warden and clerk be authorized to execute a bylaw for the county of Peterborough to enter into an agreement with Metco for the proposal material storage facility.
So a mover and a seconder, moved by Councillor Watson and seconder Councillor Wilford. All in favor? Thank you. All right, we'll turn it over to you, Carrie. We're 9A. Okay, so we're all the correct page.
Okay, so this report was brought forward from the request made at the March 5th meeting where council received the NLS report that was done in January from the Lang Service Delivery Review. Attached to this report was the second report from NLS, the Hybrid Operating Model Transition Framework. The staff working group that was created to review the recommendations and the options agreed that a transition committee should be created to assist with the creation of a not-for-profit board of directors and move forward with the hybrid model for Lang. However, staff did not agree with the dissolution of the advisory committee at this time and point. Their terms of reference are mandated and prescribed by the province to oversee the functionality of the museum. So these two committees would continue on together. To move forward with the hybrid format, staff are asking council today to adopt a terms of reference for a transition committee to allow us to start recruiting. You will see from the draft terms of reference that were attached to the report, we are suggesting the committee be composed of 3 community members, 1 or 2 members from our First Nations communities, 1 member from the Lang Advisory Committee, 1 member of the staff working group, and 3 members of council. And any interested council members, if you could contact me prior to the end of August for us to review if you're interested on sitting on the transition committee. And I didn't know if there were any questions on the report.
Questions? I see no questions online or the chamber. Do you want to read the full motion then?
No, it's in the package.
It's your fine. Okay. Yes, moved by Deputy Warden Senes and second by Councillor Armstrong. All in favor? Thank you. Okay. Podium is yours, Keziah.
Good morning, everyone. Through you, wardens. You have the planning application fee review report before you. It's been almost 10 years since any of our planning application fees have undergone any kind of review. And if you'll recall, in December of last year, council directed staff to achieve a minimum of 2% operating efficiency, and the proposed fee adjustments would serve to contribute to that goal and increase our revenues. As part of our analysis, we've undertaken a comparison to other municipalities. We've considered staff involvement in the review and processing of applications, and we have evaluated existing services that are currently provided at no cost. Our comparison to other municipalities found that the county's fees are currently among the lowest when looking at neighboring municipalities and those that have a similar geographic profile. When comparing official plan amendments, the fees were a little bit more difficult to compare just due to the unique structure of our official plan. And we do remit a portion of the application fee to the township in which the amendment is situate. So that recognizes the township staff time that is spent on reviewing that application. And in our report, there are a number of tables that show the fee comparison for all of the different types of applications that the county is responsible for. The next consideration we had is the amount of staff time and the number of staff that are actually involved in the processing of planning applications. Well, the planning department and in the case of severances, the land division committee secretary treasurer are the most involved. There is quite a bit of hidden county staff time. So administration staff assist with application intake, scheduling meetings, fielding and directing calls. Our finance department processes all application payments. They remit other fees to townships or other departments, and they undertake our peer review account management. Our public works engineering staff provide written comments for all of our application types, so severances, subdivisions, official plan amendments, and they attend our pre-consultation meetings. Our engineering staff also provide background data and field questions from consulting engineers. And since we have taken on economic development in-house, we have started to invite economic development staff to our pre-consultation meetings. The clerk's department prepares council agendas and adopting bylaws relating to certain Planning Act applications. And then we have planning representatives from county council attend our public meetings. And then yourselves and land division committee make decisions on applications. And at the end of every process, our county's GIS department updates parcel fabric, official plan schedules, and then they maintain our online application dashboard, in addition to providing the day-to-day maintenance of our GIS system that we use all day, every day. And lastly, we reviewed the services that are currently being provided at no cost, and those are our preliminary severance reviews, and I may refer to those as PSRs in the future, and our pre-consultation meetings. So the preliminary severance reviews, they are not mandatory, but they do provide the applicant with a detailed summary of the applicable policy and advises whether their proposal conforms to the applicable documents. It's a really valuable service that benefits not only our residents, but staff at the county, township, and our partner agencies. We are proposing to introduce a fee for preliminary severance reviews, with a portion of that fee going to Public Works where proposals are on a county road and require a review by engineering and construction. In addition, we are also proposing a reduced formal severance application fee where a preliminary severance review has been completed. And that recognizes that the application process is a bit more streamlined when some of that background work has already been completed. The second service that we reviewed is our pre-consultation meetings, and those are required for official plan amendments and plans of subdivision or condominium. The pre-consultation meetings allow for opportunities to discuss possible obstacles and sets clear expectations for deeming the application complete. Many of the local municipalities within and surrounding the county also charge a fee for pre-consultation, recognizing staff time to review the application, attend the meeting, provide comments, and prepare minutes. And we have proposed to introduce a fee for those meetings, and similar to PSRs, we would remit a portion of that fee to Public Works where their attendance is required at the meeting. And on the topic of pre-consultations, as part of this report, we have also recommended that the mandatory pre-consultation bylaw that the county currently has be repealed. There have been some changes in legislation which no longer, which has removed the authority of the county to require a mandatory pre-consultation, so pre-consultation is voluntary. In addition to the fee review, we've also recommended that our peer review agreement be updated to increase the deposit amounts, and that's solely to align with the peer review costs and to streamline the administration of managing the peer review process. And included in the report is an updated version of the peer review agreement. You also find as Appendix A to our report, there's a table that compares the current fees with our proposed fees. We have recommended that the fees be adopted and incorporated into the county's current tariff of fees bylaw. that the peer review agreement be updated, and that those two things become effective September 1st, and that as I said, the county's mandatory pre-consultation bylaw be repealed. So I'm happy to take any questions or.
Thank you, Keziah, and looking for questions, Councillor Graham.
Through you, Gordon, thanks for the report, Keziah. I understand, you know, we need to take a look at these things every once in a while. And I understand the canonization of it, you know, raising fees as a fiscal efficiency to a point. I take issues with a few things. To me, charging for a preliminary severance review I take real issue with that. I really think that's just the basic entryway into exploring the laws of the land as they pertain to your property. And I think that the costs associated with just learning the nuances of your property should be covered by the property taxation that people pay for those properties. So I take issue with charging for that because I think, like you said, it can really add efficiencies to the process moving forward as well, which there are inevitably costs associated with the actual developments, et cetera. And I think that charging for that up front, it can also take a significant amount of time to get those results back, which I think also creates issues. And I know there's issues from a staffing statement with that, but that we can't overcome all the ways. But I really take issue with that component. And I also think that given the economy that we're in right now and the pressures and constraints, whether it's tariff or otherwise facing the development community, we've been existing under for 9 years under the existing terms. And I think instituting new or increased rates in the last, year of the council is kind of, I don't really like the feeling of that. And given that we all expect, I think fairly, that 2026 is not going to be the turnaround year, it's going to be another year of, sort of grinding through and hopefully, eliminating as much of those struggles as possible. But we know the province has a mandate to grow. And, I think the county is trying to position itself to be, to accumulate the kind of growth that we need to support our residents at all sizes. So I can't support adopting this right now. And when it comes appropriate for all of those reasons, I would entertain a counter motion at that time. But I want the conversation for other members of council.
Councillor Whalen.
Thank you very much. I can't find it. My screen keeps going blank here. Much like my head. But anyway, because I am, you do pre-consultations now for nothing, right? What are you going to charge? I was trying to find what you're going to charge for that.
So for a pre-consultation fee, the schedule that's attached to the agenda, the pre-consultation meeting would be a $400 fee, with $400, with a portion of that going to Public Works.
Carrie.
So
Carrie.
Sheriff
in place.
preliminary severance.
Excuse me, we've got some side conversations going here, so.
So it was a pre-consultation.
Yes.
I mean, we want people to do this and, so it's going to be $400 now if they come in and want a pre-consultation.
Sorry, through your word, could I just clarify, are we talking a preliminary severance review or a pre-consultation meeting for official plan amendment or subdivision?
I've got want to do severance.
It's
Severance, so $300 for a preliminary severance review.
300.
Yep.
We're going down.
And to Councillor Whalen's point, the idea when we made those basically more or less mandatory was to save staff time. Is that not, it's kind of counterproductive.
Yeah, so through you, Warden, preliminary severance reviews are kind of twofold. So one, yes, is to make the application process, the formal application process, more streamlined, because we've already done the history search on the property. We've already provided them with comments. Public Works may have already provided comments on the entrance. So it does streamline that process a bit. But it's also intended for individual landowners. It's for their benefit so that they understand the process when they go into it, because it's a confusing process for the general public. It's intended to help them understand the process and go into that process with their eyes open so that they know what their anticipated hurdles might be and what the costs might be. So they're not surprised by anything once they make that application.
Councillor Taylor. Oh, absolutely. I seen your mic off, Jim, so that's why, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just a quick thing. Why can't we fold that into the fee for an application instead of having it? Because you know, I've seen a couple of them go through a land division where, you know, there wasn't a pre-consultation. It's not pretty. So, I think it's very important and that an initial $300 or $400 maybe is enough to throw somebody off, where the application fee is X amount of dollars. You either do it or you don't. Just a thought, because I don't know how the rest of the people feel.
Sorry.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Councillor Bell and Councillor Taylor.
Thank you, Warden Clark. And you know what, Jim, that's along the lines of what I was thinking. I mean, I don't entirely disagree with Matt, and I don't entirely agree with him. I'm trying to find a bit of a balance here. And the reality is that quite a number of people take out preliminary severance reviews on what they've already been told is sort of a lost cause. And once the PSR confirms that, they just drop it. And they've really wasted a lot of staff time. So for those folks, I think there should be a fee. But if someone uses the PSR in the way that it's intended to advise them on what's necessary to proceed, if they do go on to severance, I think that preliminary severance review, either all or part of it, could be taken off of the eventual severance cost, the consent application. I'd like to see that. I would like to continue to see us encourage folks to use PSRs. And if they're going to proceed to consent application, they can recover the PSR fee. But if they're going to drop it, like far too many do, there should be a cost for that.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Just yes, but I'm going, Keziah wants to, I think, respond to that, and then I'll go to Councillor Watson.
Yeah, so through you, Warden, I appreciate where you're coming from, Joan. We did try to structure the fee with that in mind. Like we had proposed to charge $300 for the preliminary severance review. And then if you proceeded with a formal application, then your application fee was $300 less than what it would originally be. So we have tried to make that compensation as part of our proposal. So I'm not sure if that's 100% what you're getting at. But.
Yeah, it is. I didn't actually catch that. So what you're suggesting is your proposal is exactly what I just said.
Correct, yes.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Watson.
Thank you, Warden. Through you. I appreciate the conversation that's happening around severance reviews. I'd like to pull it back a little bit and look at the report on the macro, and in your introduction comments and in the report itself, you referenced the 2% operating efficiencies that council had asked staff to look at for the upcoming budget. I'm curious, I mean, in my mind, when I think about operating efficiencies, I don't necessarily think about fee increases. I understand the revenue is one side of that mathematical equation, but in my mind, I look at, you know, how can we actually find savings within the process? And because in your preamble in the presentation, you were talking about how there are so many people involved behind the scenes, which I understand. Has there been an attempt within this process to see if there is a way to actually deliver the service in a more cost-effective way, as opposed to putting that onto the applicant on any of the services that you're suggesting increases for?
Yep. So through you, Warden, we haven't gone through an official exercise. I know over the years we have updated our process so that where we can find efficiencies, we will do so. And I know that there are other staff that are currently working on process mapping. The planning department, we haven't had our processes mapped yet. So there may be in the future. I don't know if Jen or Sheridan want to jump in on that,
Yes.
but.
Through you. So to your point, when we brought the report back to council with respect to opportunities within the budget, fees and charges are something that you should always look at as a municipality as you move forward. It's one of the tools the province gives us to try to balance our budgets. But we are looking at process mapping all the departments, and in terms of finding opportunities, the planning department did implement their website where you can do online tracking of your applications right in real time on our website. And that's one of the tools that's available to applicants to see where they are in the process. But as part of our discussions, even from strategic planning and looking at how we can
look at the region from residential employment. Part of that is looking at how we can streamline the processes within the county as well as with the townships, because we are a two-tier system. So part of that will also look at that. So definitely a work in progress.
Can I just circle back
absolutely.
on that? Thank you for that. So looking at the proposed fee increases across the board then, has there been, have you extrapolated in terms of what the dollar value revenue increase you're expecting based on regular volume? And I know that changes year over year, but what kind of operational efficiencies, revenue capture are you expecting with these increases?
Yeah, so through you, Warden, we didn't look at that for subdivisions or official plan amendments just because it's so variable, and the way we've structured our fees, it would really depend on the size of the subdivisions. And with our new official plan, if an official plan is working properly, it shouldn't need to be amended. Like ideally, you don't want those types of applications. For severances, I did include like estimates just based on historical data that we have. I understand that if we start charging a fee, we may see a decrease in some of those applications. But I did include in the report some estimated fees. So for example, preliminary severance reviews based on the number of reviews that we have completed on average over the last 5 years, we could expect to collect approximately $61,200.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Just a couple of comments, if I may. We have been given the province's view on DC charges. And the numbers, we're asking for houses and affordability to be built quicker. And we know that the first, I want to say 6 months of this year, they're single family dwelling building permits. There's only been about 7 in the city and 20 some in the county. And, I realize that the city gave us this tool, but now they're telling us loud and clear, don't use the tool, promote development. So I don't know if the timing of this is a message we want to send. So in saying that, I'll pass to Councillor Graham.
Oh, sorry.
So, thank you. Green.
Thank you through,
Yeah.
through you, Warden. Yeah, no, I think my only issue with this is really around the timing and what's out there politically. We've seen the city of Peterborough. I know we're talking about planning costs here, but DC charges, as the warden has spoken to, significantly higher in the city, and I think that maybe is pushing some development out into the county. And I think the more receptive and cost effective we can be will result in more building in the county. It's been almost 10 years since this has been changed and increased, and I think that needs to be something that is a standard on every new term of council, that it be reviewed for the term of council in the first year. So it's unfortunate that hasn't happened in the last 9 or 10 years, but I'm not sure the timing is right for it as well. Follow up, just a question with respect to the pre-consultation. What percentage of them don't go forward with, just so we have an idea again, is it really an issue, or do most of them end up moving forward?
Through you, Warden, I would say the majority move forward to an application.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Graham.
Through you, Warden. Yeah, thank you for that. I also think the one other nuanced thing, and like I said, I can appreciate the need to update them in the market comparators is one thing. But I also think, given the rural nature of the majority of the county, some of the adjustments, for instance, like a plan of subdivision application, just going to a $10,000 flat fee, like that is tremendously punitive and really changing the fiscal picture for smaller development builds that we see of and have a lot more local builders and developers trying to entertain in the county. That's a significant jump from, the 4,500 for up to 20 lots. And I would even suggest that, being a plan of subdivision requires as few as 4 units. like that, it's a much different game and it's a much different requirement on the county. Not to say that there aren't a baseline level of service and a baseline number of hours. And of course, as we have all learned, there's nuances to every property, for however big, however small. So I'm not trying to trivialize that and saying that there's way less work, because there are unique nuances to that. But I do think it would be nice to have whatever new entity or new fee structure, not to consider that sort of supporting those smaller developments that we're trying to facilitate in other communities that don't have service capacity, like the larger communities, because we want to support, that's really supporting local builders who are employing local people and utilizing local trades and things like that. So I wish that there was more accommodations of that. I understand we're trying to be fair and simplistic, but so with that comment said, Warden, I'd like to make the motion that we just at this time receive the report, and that staff take any comments back and can consider those for a future report to council, the next term of council.
So a motion just to receive. Do I have a seconder for that? Yes, Councillor Watson. All in favor? And that has passed. All right, thank you. Any notices of motion? I see none. Announcements. Any announcements? Yes, Councillor Graham.
Okay, I'm learning. Just a couple of announcements. One, I wanted to just acknowledge the passing of a longtime resident in the village of Millbrook, Miss Marion Korf. We'll be mourning her as a community on the weekend. And so just for her longstanding of her and her husband and serving in the canteen in the old arena, she will be greatly missed and was a big part of a lot of community associations and supported a lot of different charitable causes in the community. So she will be very sorely missed, and survived by her husband, George, and her great family in the village of Millbrook. So we share in the condolences with them. And on a happier note, I just wanted to congratulate Deputy Mayor Huntley on his son's achievements and recognition from the Peterborough Sports Hall of Fame. That was televised last night. So I'm sure the proud father, warrantly so, and it warrants a recognition. So congratulations to the Huntley family.
All right, great, proud dad. And we have two, oh, sorry, go ahead, Councillor Watson.
Thank you. Since this is the last meeting before Labor Day, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we have the Douro Doings happening on Labor Day weekend in Douro, which of course celebrated their 200th anniversary this summer, as many other communities did. But the Douro Doings has been around for about 95 of those years, plus or minus. And we look forward to welcoming many residents, or many people, many visitors into the community to participate in all of the goings on, all of the doings in Douro.
Thank you. So I'd like to just announce that we have two very accomplished bakers here in our midst. I will mention, I am not one of them. I did try to do what Councillor Lambshead did one year and made a peach pie for the apple pie contest. And so I decided to make a lemon cranberry, which did not go over well. So the accomplished baker, the champion, is Deputy Warden Senes, and the reserve champion is Councillor Watson. So anyway, congratulations. Thank you.
Where is it? Like to been the judge of it.
Okay, and we'll move to, my pages are a little I suppose done. We'll move into the bylaws, and I'll ask the clerk to review those, please.
So on today's agenda, we only have one bylaw, being 2025-26, to adopt OPA number 81.
All right, and a mover for that, moved by Councillor Lambshead and second by Councillor Burt. All in favor? Thank you. Our confirming bylaw, a mover and seconder for that. And looking online, Councillor Huntley and seconder Councillor Martin, all in favor. Thank you. And looking for adjournment. Councillor Webb and Councillor Taylor, all in favor. Thank you.